Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PP, your Pampamilyang podcast. I am your host, Jedrick Aquino. Watch out as we unravel the truths about deforestation. In today's episode, we have distinguished guests who have studied and made their research about this issue. They are not professionals in environmental science, but we know that anyone, regardless of their status, can easily understand and explain this kind of issue. First, let's hear from Miss Michelle and Miss Dutch.
Thank you, Jedrick. I am glad to be a part of this podcast. Deforestation refers to the decrease in forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses such as agricultural croplands, urbanization, or mining activities. When we come to think of it, the alarming rate of deforestation is a critical issue on a global scale, and the best way to combat it is to initialize its awareness.
Let me add a bit of this topic. Statistically speaking, 31% of the Earth's surface is covered by forests, approximately 4.06 billion hectares, with only 18% of it being protected from deforestation. Today, most deforestation occur in tropical countries like Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Areas inaccessible in the past are now being reached as people build roads through the dense forest. Between 1990 to 2010, an average of 15.5 billion hectares of forest were destroyed. Every year, 25.8 billion hectares of forests were lost in 2020, double the amount of forested land lost in 2001.
Having said that deforestation is at an alarming rate, enlightening people on the cause and effect of deforestation can pave the way for people's cooperation. That's why we discuss this to provide insights, realization, and possible answers to the concept of deforestation. You can now start explaining your thoughts on this issue, Mr. Kalex.
I have many thoughts in regards to this issue, but to sum it up, all the primary cause of deforestation is agricultural activities. As the population grows, so does the demand for food, fuel, fiber, and animal feed, which leads to more than 80% of deforestation. Another cause is illegal logging, which mostly happen in wood-based industry. People chop wood illegally to keep up with the high demand for wood products such as furniture and paper. The construction of human infrastructures has also been driving deforestation. More specifically, 10% of deforestation can be attributed to new infrastructures that serves the current human lifestyles in three main ways: transportation, transformation, and energy generation.
Alright, thank you for that, Mr. Kylex. In detail, I want to explain to you guys the effects of deforestation. One of the most significant consequences is the loss of biodiversity. Forests are home to a vast array of plant and animal species, many of which are not found anywhere else. As forests are cleared, these species are often driven to extinction or forced to migrate, disrupting entire ecosystems. Additionally, deforestation reduces the ability of forests to absorb carbon dioxide, contributing to climate change. Deforestation also has significant impact on local communities. Many indigenous people rely on forests for their livelihoods, using them for food, medicine, and shelter. When these forests are destroyed, these communities lose access to these resources, leading to poverty and displacement. Deforestation can also lead to soil erosion, decreased water quality, and more frequent flooding, all of which have negative impacts on human health and well-being. In addition to these environmental and social impacts, deforestation also has economic consequences. Forests provide a range of valuable products, including timber, pulp, and paper, as well as non-timber forest products, such as rubber and medical plants. The loss of these resources can have significant impact on local and national economies. Additionally, the tourism industry, which often relies on intact forests for its attraction, can be negatively affected by deforestation.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Bernard. Now that we know the effects of deforestation, I am curious on how we can address deforestation and its social impacts. Let's start with Miss Jasmine.
There are many solutions to address deforestation. One solution is to establish protected areas. Governments and conservation organizations can create protected areas to conserve forests and prevent illegal logging and land use change. These protected areas can also benefit local communities by providing sustainable tourism opportunities.
I couldn't agree with you more, Miss Jasmine. Another solution to address deforestation is providing alternative livelihoods such as ecotourism, handcrafting production, and sustainable agriculture can be helped to reduce the dependence of local communities on the forest resources. This can be particular effect when combined with sustainable land use practices and community forest management.
Thank you, Ms. Daniel. I would also like to add that for us to be able to cure deforestation, we should act as an individual. Forming or joining an organization that concerns with the protection of nature or forest is one of the best ways to solve the problems of deforestation. Through these organizations, we can set events or programs to educate others. It can be your family, friends, or people from your community.
Thank you, Mr. Kenneth. I believe that addressing deforestation and its social impacts requires a multifaceted approach that involves the establishment and enforcement of forest conservation laws, the empowerment of local communities, the promotion of sustainable land use practices, the encouragement of responsible business practices, the development of alternative sources of income, the public education. By working together, we can help to preserve our forests and promote a sustainable future for all.
Thank you, Ms. Jasmine, Mr. Kenneth, and Ms. Gracious for sharing your thoughts on this issue. So that's it for today's podcast. Thank you to all of our guests for sharing their knowledge on deforestation and its social impacts. I am your host, Jedrick Aquino, and I hope that you enjoyed this podcast and gained a better understanding on this issue. And always remember, respect nature for a better future.